Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here for some tier lists for Hazbin Hotel Season 2. If you're wondering about the amount of space above my head, that's going to be fixed soon once we go over to the other screen, so don't worry about it. But, yeah, we are here for Season 2 episode tier lists. I have finished the season, and while you're seeing this the same day that episode 8 goes live on the channel, I obviously am recording this well ahead of time. Like, after season 2 had finished and after I had given the final episode some thought and everything. So we're going to be doing this in a few different categories. You'll see those listed on the progress bar below. There's also the timestamps just in the about section of the video. There's a word and I can't think of it. But yeah, you'll see the timestamps and everything there, but you can just check the progress bar. It'll show where everything is. We are going to be doing episodes, then characters, and ending off on songs. That is how we're going to be doing these tier lists here. So I'm very excited to get to these. Let's go over to the other screen real quick. There we go. See, a lot less space on top of my head here. But still plenty of space on my forehead. Don't know if that joke hits with anybody. Do I have a big forehead to a lot of people? I don't know. I always feel I do. Anyway, as you can see here, we have our Season 1 episodes up because, like I said, we're starting with episodes. And I wanted to have this as kind of a baseline to show you, like, my thoughts on those ones. Because I couldn't find a tier list on Tiermaker for Season 1 and 2 episodes for some reason. They were all the ones I found were split. And so we're just going with that. I'll try to give an example of where they would align, though, once we're done ranking. So as you can see, with Season 1's episodes, my favorite up here was Masquerade, and my least favorite was Radio Killed the Video Star, but all of them I give a B at least to. They were all good. The only one down here in D is the pilot. The pilot had a lot of issues, doesn't really align super well with the main series, so it was great. It was fantastic. But the main series kind of blew it out of the water quite a bit. So that's why I have it down in D. Realistically, it's obviously better than a D tier, but comparatively. So now we're going to go over to Season 2. As you can see, we have our blank tier list here, S through D. And we are going to start with Episode 1. Episode 1, I'm not putting it in B, I'm just holding it here for the moment, is a really good return to this series after, a year and 10 months. And it had some great songs. It really kicked off the storyline with the V's really well, gave us a good, kind of this diametrically opposed viewpoints between the hotel and the V's. I would give this an A. I think Episode 1 is a very strong start. It really kicked off the season excellently. Then we have Episode 2. While Episode 1 focused entirely on hell, Episode 2 focuses entirely on heaven. It's the other side of the coin. We get to see Pentious. We see Emily trying to connect with him. We're introduced to Abel. And we kind of catch up with Lute and Sarah and everything else in that kind of portion of the story. Especially with Heaven now not knowing really what to do in terms of, the redemption thing and all. Episode 2 had some phenomenal songs and, really just continued to raise that bar after Episode 1. But while I would put in an A, I think I liked Episode 1 a little bit better personally. Just from a personal standpoint. Then we have Episode 3. Episode 3 involved Charlie kind of calling on the V's, getting Vox and Velvet to come to the hotel, and the entire bullshit with trying to get a forced redemption going. To try and prove to the V's that redemption is real without any other kind of evidence. This episode pissed a lot of people off because of the way Charlie acted, and while I was definitely a lot more forgiving, you could say, I can see that it's just not as great compared to other episodes. I'm putting it in C. there's a lot of things that are frustrating, a lot of things that are weaker, but I don't think it's a bad episode by any means. I would not put it in D ever. But I think C is a good placement for it, just comparative to other episodes. Then we get into episode 4. Episode 4 has Alistair quitting the hotel, going to Rosie. We find out about Alistair's past and the fact that his deal is with Rosie. This was a very big episode. It gave us a lot of information. It kind of like really set the bar going forward and elevated the season a lot. I would also put this in A tier, and I think I'll put it between episodes 1 and 2. Again, just on a personal preference, I think I like episode 1 a little better. But episode 4 definitely deserves to be up there as well. Then we had episode 5. I don't know why this one is like smaller. I don't know why the little screenshot thing here is smaller. Whoever made the tier list made it that way. But episode 5 is kind of like the fallout of all of that from 4. And we have, Lucifer just doing his thing. Alistair being caught by Vox and everything as part of his plan. This episode is honestly, I would say, possibly the weakest episode. I'm putting it under episode 3. I wouldn't put it D. Because the fact is, because these episodes release 2 at a time, episode 5 gets entirely overshadowed by episode 6, which I'll get to. And it's not as memorable. Honestly, at least for me, I tend to forget about it most of the time. It's still good. There's nothing bad about it exactly. It's just not as good as the rest, I would say. And that leads us into episode 6, which I don't even need to think about this. Between Angel Dust song, Husk, all the songs, which I'll get to with the song portion, the kind of redeeming past mistakes, moving forward with the plot, but also ending on a very bad note, kind of ending with a really bittersweet kind of conclusion to the episode, because you have the good stuff happening, but you also have some bad things going down. It's one of those episodes that really gets you scared at the end, after having raised your spirits to such a massive degree. And I think it's just so successful in everything it tries to do, and just really honestly won me over hard. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to put episode 2 in the B tier. I think it's a little lower than 1 and 4. I think, and plus, honestly, I don't think we'll have a B tier option otherwise. So now we move into episode 7, which is kind of the beginning of the big finale. You have the party coming in, Velvet and Valentino completely luring on Vox. You have Charlie having to kind of deal with everything that's happening. Lucifer is captured. The weapon is used to attack heaven. It's basically a lot of crazy shit going down. And it's a really strong episode with a lot of great moments. You see Carmilla return. You see pretty much all of the overlords that we know of. And it's just, it really does things well. I'm putting it between 1 and 4 in the A tier. And that leads us into our final episode, episode 8. I'm just going to put it down here for now. We're not keeping it there necessarily. Episode 8 is the big final, conclusion to the season, obviously. But it's also, the big moment where things, really come to a head. Everyone's enacting their plans. You have Nifty and Baxter. You have Husk and Cherry. And Charlie and Vaggie are at the party. Everyone's doing their own things to try and resolve it. We have Pentious working in heaven as well to help with Baxter's part, so they can, show everyone in hell that this has all worked. And it's like, yeah, it's a really big deal. The fight between Alistair and Fox is really great. Alistair getting free of all of his deals, like literally 3 deals in one episode, is pretty crazy. And the way it ends with the call is a really big deal and a great setup for season 3. Honestly, I think I'd put episode 8 in the S tier, right under episode 6. So yeah, I think that would be my ranking for season 2, with episode 6 definitely being at the top, and episode 5, just because it was so overshadowed and because honestly it's not as memorable, being down here at the bottom. If I'm remembering right, episode 5 involved Lucifer, going to try and intimidate Vox, and Charlie and the Angels went there as well, and just everybody fucked up. Literally everyone. And at the end, Charlie was left, like, angry with both Vaggie and her dad, and it's just, like, it was just a crazy situation. It's not a bad episode, again, none of them are bad. It's just, you know what, I'll put it above episode 3. Now that I'm kind of remembering some of the things that happened, I'll put it above episode 3, but I'm still keeping it in C tier. It's not as good, it's not as exciting. And with, like episode 3, these are the 2 episodes where everybody's kind of fucking up and it's just not a great situation. It's frustrating. I mean, that's the intent, that's what you're supposed to feel, but still, it's not good to feel frustrated. Now, compared to the season 1, I would put our other 2 S tiers, episodes 6 and 8, I think I would put episode 6 at the very top, and that might be recency bias, but that's what I'm genuinely thinking. As for episode 8, I think I would put episode 8 between Hello Rosie and Dad Beat Dad. Yeah, I think that's probably the best place for that, because I think Masquerade and Hello Rosie are still better than season 2, episode 8. In terms of the A tier, episode 1 of season 2 would be at the top of A tier for sure. It would be above The Show Must Go On from season 1. Episode 7, I think, would also be above The Show Must Go On. And episode 4, yeah, I think all 3 of those, I think all 3 of season 2's would be above the 2 from season 1's in terms of the A tier. B tier, episode 2, I also think would be above episode 1's 2 episodes in the B tier. And then there's nothing for C tier for season 1, so those would just go there. That's about where I would place that. So, that being said, that's about the best I can do, because again, I had to use, unfortunately, 2 lists. But that being said, next we are going to the character tier list. So as you can see on here, we have tiers all the way from S plus to F. And we are going to... This list does have Hell of a Boss characters on it, but we're going to only focus on the Hazbin Hotel characters. So just keep that in mind. And we are going to... Yeah, we're going to rank them. So... This is based off of, obviously, where I'm at the end of Season 2, which is very different than where I was at with some of these characters in Season 1, due to the amount of screen time they've had, due to their stories and their characters, their depths, their growths, all of that. Not every character might be on this list. I'm looking at who we have right now, and it looks like we have all the major characters. It looks like it ends with Lilith there before going into the Hell of a Boss characters. And there's some characters on here, like these 2 before Angel's sister, Molly, who I think are like comic only at the moment. And they're like not in the show, so I won't be counting them. There's also a lot of like minuscule side characters as well. And I'm only going to count the ones that had like notable screen time, so keep that in mind. We're going to pin that so we can get to it easier. So... Charlie, a lot of people have been very upset with during the course of Season 2. And I'll admit, she has not been at her best, but that was part of the point. Charlie would have been higher for me was higher for me after Season 1, but in terms of Season 2, I'll put her in A tier still. Still one of the better characters, just she's not S tier anymore for me. By the way, as a clarification, S plus is probably going to only be like one, maybe two characters. I'm going to keep that very exclusive. Vaggie is one of those characters. Vaggie had taken such a massive step up this season, not just in terms of being drawn visually prettier, but also like in terms of her place in the hotel, everything she's done for other characters during the season. She has been the glue that has held this season together. Vaggie is the MVP of season 2. Alistair has gotten a lot of good development this season, a lot that's really elevated him, but considering for half the season he's stuck as Vox's prisoner, and mind you, he's doing it on purpose to pull the strings, it does kind of, it takes him down a bit for me. And I already wasn't the biggest Alistair fan, but he does a lot of good stuff in this season in terms of his manipulation of Vox and the V's and everything. And he would be higher than like he was at the end of season 1. But because he is kind of trapped as a prisoner of his own making again, but because of that, I can only put him in C tier. If he had more active of a role for that second half of the season, I'd probably put him in A tier. But and that's saying a lot for me, because I think he was like one of my least favorite characters in season 1. Husk. Husk is great this season, just as he was in season 2. He has a little more to do here. And honestly, like, just his growth and his connection to Angel and even others like Cherry and whatnot really made me love him even more than I did in season 1, which I loved him a lot in season 1. So I would put him above Charlie in the A tier. Nifty was fun in season 1, but I didn't really like connect with the character. Season 2 really made me love Nifty in a whole new way. Her having her own song, the way she has interacted with Baxter, it's like Nifty kind of won my heart in season 2. I'm putting her in S tier. I know that might be a wild choice, but she really won my heart this season. Angel is obviously S plus tier. Angel pretty much will always be S plus tier. He's one of the best characters in this. He was my favorite in season 1. Vaggie did overtake him this season because Angel didn't have as much to do this season. Mind you, considering what was happening, it makes sense. I think he's going to be bigger in season 3 based off where this season left off. And so he might reclaim his throne as my favorite character. But it's really going to depend on where they take him in season 3. Cherry obviously got major props this season. Like, she really was elevated, especially in terms of her relationship to Pentious and everything after his redemption. And the fact that she's now fully on board with the hotel. It's like, yeah, she's an S tier. Cherry really, really rocked this season. Pentious, you know what? I said maybe 1 or 2 in the S plus tier, but yeah, I'm sorry. Pentious was such an MVP this season. I know this is the season 1 picture, but deal with it. It's what this list has. Pentious was phenomenal this season. While Vaggie was keeping things together in hell, Pentious kept things together in heaven. He won over Sarah. He won over pretty much everyone. Maybe save for Loot. He was so good this season. And he was great in season 1. But he was like just drastically better in season 2. I guess we're going to count the one egg boy that survived. And we only saw him once. I don't know if it's the one who had a name from season 1. I can't even remember the name right now. Because I don't think they specified. There was one egg boy who survived. And he was only shown once. I gotta put him in D tier for that. I can't put him in F because he's still cool little egg boy. But yeah, and the angel egg boys, I'm not really counting as characters because they don't really have character. They don't have any depth to them at all, which is kind of the point. Kind of like they were just some random thing Emily made just for Pentious's sake. But yeah, it's not quite the same. Lucifer, like Charlie, made a lot of mistakes this season and, had some issues, but he was still just as entertaining, just as fun, just as wacky and duck obsessed. I think I'd put him in A tier. I think I'll put him right above Charlie. Vox is a phenomenal villain. Vox is a better villain than Adam was in season one, and he was like he stole the show as the villain. He like I really wasn't sure what I was going to think about him at first, but he really stole the show as a villain. I'm putting him at the top of S tier, above Nifty. Valentino is Valentino. I have not changed my opinion on him at all. He is F tier. He's Valentino. Likewise, I haven't really changed my opinion on Velvet at all. Well, no, I can't say that. I like her a bit more than I did in season one, and I loved her in season one. Velvet is like so sassy and snappy. She's obviously a terrible person, but the way she carries herself, the humor surrounding her, her voice, her outfits, all her different looks, really just sells me on her so much. So Velvet, I definitely have to put in S tier as well. I'll put her between Nifty and Cherry. Rosie didn't get a huge amount of screen time in this season. What she had was obviously very important, being linked with Alistair specifically. But I kind of wish she had a little bit more to do. I'm going to put her in B tier because I feel like I just wanted more of her. ZZ is next. ZZ, who had a small role in season one, has a bit of a bigger role this season. She's still not a major character, but she's a lot better. And I still love her design. I still think she's really interesting. We get to learn a lot more about her. She even has a notable part in a song. I think I would put ZZ at the top of B tier. I don't think I can put her higher than that because, again, not a major character, but still. Maestro had less than ZZ. I would put him below Alistair. Next, we have Prick and Hatchet, who were, I only know the names of because of Vox's song. Actually, it wasn't even just Vox's song. It was Vox and the Overlords. It was Be Bad With Us, I believe it's called. They probably had the least impact of any of the Overlords to me. I'm putting them in D tier above the Egg Boy. And I'm putting Prick above Hatchet because I just like his design better. Hatchet just looks like a discount Alistair to me. There's this guy, I don't know his name, but he was singing with ZZ at the beginning of Be Bad With Us. I'm also going to put him in D tier. I'll put him at the top because, again, I like his design a little better than Prick's. Zestiel had a very small role this season. He was a lot bigger in season one. And he was basically Carmilla's conscience this season. That's pretty much his entire role. And because of that, I really can't put him above D tier. I'll put him at the top because we actually have more of a character for him than the others. But I can't put him anything above that because he doesn't really have much of a role outside of Carmilla's conscience this season. But speaking of Carmilla, until episodes 7 and 8, would have probably been down there as well. But because of 7 and 8 and because of like her story throughout the season, and her coming around, I think I will put her in B tier. I can't put her above B, but I'll put her at the top of B because I still like her a lot more than ZZ. Her daughters, like, were barely there. Honestly, they're going to go in D tier because just of lack of screen time. I'll put them below Zestiel. Baxter. Baxter's a character who desperately needed more screen time. What they gave us was great, and I love his relationship with Nifty. I love how easy it was to get him to befriend everyone just because of the sheets. Baxter is a great character who, again, if he had more screen time, could be an S tier character. As it is, I'll put him in A tier at the very bottom. Just because he needed more. He just very much needed more. He was great in episodes 7 and 8, though. Like, that was where he really got to shine. This is the TV station guy, manager, I guess. I'm not going to count him because he's not much of a character. Travis was shown in this season, but basically as a background character. After that, I think this is the girl from season 1 who was being dressed up by Velvet. We're not counting her. Kitty. Okay, Kitty is the next one we will count. Because Kitty actually got an action sequence, joining Val in his fight against Cherry and Husk, and was unfortunately destroyed. Kitty is a female fizzy bot, female, God, what is it called? I think it's just RoboFizz. Um, we presume special order by Valentino, but we know she's a RoboFizz. Unless she's supposed to be like some kind of rip off of RoboFizz, that would be interesting too. I love her design though. I think she has a fantastic design. Obviously, I can't put her like too high because she's not much of a character, but I want to at least like put her on the list. So I think I'm gonna put her below Prick and Hatchet in D tier because I just don't feel right putting her above anyone else. The next character that we can actually bring up is Katie Killjoy. We'll count her and Tom together. I'm just gonna say Tom is D tier. And that's the joke of his character. Like his character is meant to be like a D tier character by like that. That's the point. But honestly, it's like he's not even one of those characters who's hated on for the joke, and then you actually end up loving them. He just kind of lives up to or lives down to that, I guess. So I'm gonna put Tom under Hatchet and above Kitty. But Katie Killjoy, who got so much more screen time this season, was fantastic. She was like just everything you would want from a Brandon Rogers character. I'm putting her in A tier. I'll put her at the very bottom, but she definitely deserves to be there. Okay, so next, this is the girl from episode 1, the one who was originally at the hotel and then had her life destroyed by the V's. Has a phenomenal design. Everyone loved her. Everyone wanted to know her name and wanted more from her. Unfortunately, she never returned after that. She didn't have too much of a character, but I have to put her on the list just by her phenomenal design alone. And because I feel really fucking bad for her because of what the V's did to her, I'm putting her above Alistair in C tier. Yes, I'm putting her above Alistair. Deal with it. It's my list. Susan and Mimsy weren't in this season. Susan was mentioned on a park bench, and that's it. Mimsy, I don't even think was mentioned, so we're not counting them. Rooster. Gotta count Rooster. He's my boy. Rooster is like Wally from Hell of a Boss. He's a character who's like kind of a joke and not really meant to be taken seriously. But for some reason, I just like grow really attached to. I think it's because I think with Wally, Wacky Wally Wackford in Hell of a Boss, I think I became attached to him because everybody in the show was shitting on him. And so I felt really bad for him and just became attached to him because of that. And with Rooster, it's like we saw him all throughout season 2. Whether in the background or in the hotel, he got speaking lines. And then there's the joke in, I want to say episode 7, where he's like cheering with everyone else. And like Charlie's like, oh, who are you? And Vaggy's like, oh, that's Rooster. He's been here the whole time. And it's like, I just loved that joke. I just fucking loved that joke. And it really endeared me to Rooster. And he was even shown after that. It wasn't the end of his character either. So I was endeared to Rooster. I'm putting him in B tier. I'll put him at the bottom for obvious reasons, but I was endeared to him. After that, I'm not going to count Molly, because while she did show up like one time in heaven, she still didn't like have a speaking role or any actual character or anything. St. Peter, I'm going to put under Alistair in C tier. He had a little bit of role in episode 2, and he was shown when Vox destroyed the gates to heaven, but other than that, he wasn't really much else of a character, so I can't put him any higher. Though his role was pretty fun, and I liked his connection with our next one, Abel. Abel is the goodest boy. He is such a good boy. I mean, outside of Penchas, of course. He is such a good boy, and I loved his moment of finally standing up to Lutz in the end. It was so well earned. Also, he's Patrick Stump, and that wins just automatic points with me because I've always been a big Fall Out Boy fan. And getting to hear him really belt out some lyrics in episode 8 was fantastic. So, Abel, I think would go in A tier for me. And I'm going to put him just above Baxter and below Charlie. Hopefully he gets even more screen time in season 3. And then, of course, we have Emily and Sarah next. Emily and Sarah are both fantastic. Emily was obviously, like, basically Heaven's version of Charlie in season one, and she carried that over into this season. She really was just a real force for hope and change. And I really think that she was a great character once again. I'm going to put her just above Charlie. And that's only because of Charlie's mistakes this season. Sarah, however, Sarah in season one, I didn't like. In fact, I was actually kind of pissed at her because of the way she was acting, the ideologies she was spouting, and how against everything she was. Also, how for the exterminations she was. But season two developed her so phenomenally, not only making her likable, but making her, like, phenomenally lovable. Like, I really love Sarah as a character now, and that, like, honestly, Sarah might have the best character development in the show, like, in the entire show. I mean, even over Penchus, over Angel, I think she might have the best development. I'm giving her S tier, honestly. I'm putting her just below Vox. I think Sarah was that good this season. And after that, we have the Speaker of God, voiced by the singing voice of Anastasia. Um, that gets obvious massive points for me because I mentioned this in the reaction to that episode. But Anastasia was a big movie for me growing up, and the song Once Upon a December is still, in my opinion, one of the greatest songs ever, honestly. I think it's that good. It's that powerful. It makes me cry, like, every time I hear it. So it's like, yeah, that's a big deal for me. But the character herself was also really cool, really kind. I love her interactions with Sarah. Also, she had some fun interactions with Penchus and Lute and everyone too. Honestly, she's another A tier for me, but I don't think I'd put her as high as everyone else because she had such a small role. I'll put her under Baxter. Lute, this was the beginning of Lute's corruption arc, you could say, even though she's already corrupted. Um, we're definitely going to see more of that next season. But what we did see of it this season, including with Gravity and everything else, and, having to be talked down at the end by Abel, Lute was really great. I've already heard some people complaining that, oh, nothing happened. We didn't get any resolution to her arc. Her arc's not over. It's very clearly still going. This is still, like, the show's not over, people. Like, Lute's corruption arc is still ongoing. It doesn't, it's just because it's in season two doesn't mean it's only in season two. That's an arc that's going to carry over. Um, Lute, I think I have to wait to see more. So I think I'm going to put her in B tier for now, at the top, of course. But I think we need to see more. I'm not going to count Adam because we did see a little bit of Adam due to losing her fucking mind. And did get to hear him sing in the Gravity song. But that wasn't really him. Adam really wasn't in the season because he's dead. That was Lute's, like, mental interpretation of him. Like, he even said to her, it's like, I only know what you know. He's literally just a projection of her fractured mind. That's, like, her interpretation of him, which is pretty accurate, mind you, but still. I'm not counting that as actually being Adam, so I'm not going to count him for this list. And Lilith, we don't get to see enough of. I can't rightly put her on here. And yeah, the rest of the characters on here are from Hell of a Boss, so that leaves us off. That's the conclusion to that. So, click. So as you can see, my least favorite character of the season was Valentino, no surprise. And my favorite character was actually Vaggie, which really does surprise me. But she just really owned this season. Obviously, Penchus and Angel were still just as phenomenal. But yeah, Vaggie really owned this season. Obviously, Vox is up there too, Sarah and Nifty. But those three specifically were just even above regular top tier for me. So that is my favorite character, my ranking of the characters for season 2. Next we will be moving on to songs. So let me make sure I have the correct list here. Okay, so this is a list of all songs from Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel. I have put all of this previous songs on here previously. This is a list I've used before. So it like shows like even like I'm always chasing rainbows from the pilot, and you see like Chaz time down here from Hell of a Boss. We are going to clear this because I forgot to do that before. Reset. And we're only going to do the season 2 songs. I'll maybe put a list on the Discord with all of the songs ranked, which means I'll have to recreate that, which sucks. But my thoughts might have changed a little bit anyway since I last did that. This is one of those lists that kept getting updated. That's why it now lists for season 2, episode 8. But yeah, we're only gonna do the season 2 songs for now, just to rank for season 2 specifically. So also, by the way, it does show like some soundtrack songs and OSTs and all. It's not just, you know, what I mean. It's not just in-show songs. But, where's the first one here? Okay, here it is. So we start with Hazbin Guarantee. Hazbin Guarantee was a great song to start off the season with. The comparisons and contrasts between the V's portion of it and the hotels are really great. Honestly, I think Hazbin Guarantee is an easy A tier for me. I think it's just really that good and gave us a lot to look forward to at the season. Once we get up there, on the other hand, I know a lot of people seemingly like this song. I really didn't. Like, there's a couple portions during the song that I liked, but in general, the song itself just wasn't to my taste in music, in the way it sounded and all. Honestly, once we get up there, is a D tier song for me, personally. After that, we have Like You. Like You. I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah. I was trying to remember what song this was. Like You is the song when like Emily, St. Peter, and Abel are trying to encourage Pentious and doing it really badly. That's D tier. It's not that great of a song, and honestly, it just makes me depressed. It makes me depressed for Pentious. There's a lot of fun sounding things in it, like the discotheques and whatnot, unicorn stuff. But it's like, as a song, it's a little too much. It's a little too chaotic for my tastes. Then we have Sarah's Confession, S tier. This song blew me away, and yes, part of it is because of Anastasia's singing voice being the speaker of God. But Sarah's singing voice is obviously phenomenal, and it's just like, that song just blew me away. It's just so good, so good. Gravity is also extremely good, and also an S tier, but I like Sarah's Confession more. I don't care. I said what I said. Gravity, I think, is kind of the big fan favorite of the season. It's what, like, everybody is saying is their favorite song. But while I loved it, and I love rock music and everything, Sarah's Confession just won me over a little bit harder. Then we have Piss, a love song. I like this. I liked it a lot more than when I first heard it. But it's kind of middle of the road for me. There's better, but there's also worse. I think I'm going to put it B tier. I think that's fair. Speed Run to Redemption. Did not like this song for exactly the same reasons I didn't like You. It depressed me. It bothered me. And I don't like the chaotic energy of it. It just didn't work for me. It felt a little too chaotic. It felt like a little too much. I don't normally have sensory overload, but maybe it was that. Maybe it was a tiny bit of sensory overload for me. Um, which again, I don't normally have an issue with. Like, as autistic as I am, that's not usually something that bothers me personally. But this time it did. After that, we have Don't You Forget. And this was another one I just really couldn't get into. It just didn't really do it for me. I don't know how else to put it. I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's better than these ones, but not by much. Now, Clean It Up is a song that I have been wanting because I've been wanting a Nifty song because of Kamiko Glenn. And the song did not disappoint. Now, that's the kind of chaotic energy I like, because I don't know how else to put this. It's gonna sound fucking stupid and weird, but it's focused chaotic energy. It's chaotic in one way, and that's what I liked about it. Um, Plus, the portion of it that's in Japanese is just like a really sudden switch up that I loved. I just really liked Clean It Up. In terms of where I would put this, I think I think I would put it just under Hazbin Guarantee. I think that's the best placement for it. After that, we have the Don't You Forget reprise. Um, this is also episode 4. I'm just trying to think back to this song specifically. I just, I think this is right about in the same level as Don't You Forget with me. I think it was a little more interesting, so I liked it just a little bit more. Just a little bit, but not by much. That would be where I would put it. Yeah, in C tier. I think I'm confident with that. Bad With Us was a song that was, again, kind of right in the middle for me. It surprised me in a lot of ways. And getting to hear all the other overlords, getting to have Vox sing in all these different ways was pretty cool. I think I would put Bad With Us just under Piss. I think it's right about there, though. Then we have Vox Populi and Vox Day, which I think are pretty much back to back for me. And I think they're also in B tier. I think they're under Bad With Us, though. I think I like Vox Day a little more because of its oomph. It has a little more intensity and power to it. So I think I'll put Vox Day and then Vox Populi right under that. And then we get to like the really good songs. So we start with Love in a Bottle. Love in a Bottle, like every time I hear it, I love it more and more. It's just, you have Keith David's just velvety vocals. You have the fun of the song. The way at the end he gets like, he's slurring and growling his lines. It's so good. It's so good. Love in a Bottle, I think I'm going to put it above Clean It Up. Those two I think could go back and forth, though. I think these two are like kind of interchangeable for me. But I think right now I'm putting it above Clean It Up. Then we have Losing Streak. Blake Roman's best vocals in the series so far. Just, this song did something to me. Not all songs in this series obviously do that. But this song, like, actually did something to me. You know what I mean by that, by the way. I'm not specifying because I don't think I need to. This is another one that I think could go back and forth with Gravity for me, and I think currently I'm going to put it just under Gravity because I think, again, Gravity's more my genre. I tend to like rock more than the kind of like soulful club music of Losing Streak, but it's definitely S tier nonetheless. And then you have Easy, and it's easy. Number 1. Like, again, just like Losing Streak, this song did a lot for me. But also even out just outside of how hot it was, the song was also just really fucking good. Like, I have had that song stuck in my head so many times since hearing it. it's such a genuinely phenomenal song. And obviously you have two fantastic singers who have exactly the right voices for this kind of song. It's honestly pretty perfect as a song, in my opinion. And it's also sexy. After that, we have Brighter. This is another one that I know a lot of people love, and I'm going to be a little bit of a disappointment here. I'm not really that into it, not comparatively. I like the lore we get from the song, but the song as a whole, just as it is, didn't really do a lot for me. I'm going to put it in C tier. I'll put it at the top for now, but I can't really put it higher than that. I can't. Live to Live, on the other hand, that song, like, almost made me cry. Like, especially when Pentius's part starts, the It Starts With Sorry part, like, that part, like, that almost made me cry. Live to Live, I think I'll put it in S tier as well. There were some great songs this season. I'll put it at the bottom under Losing Streak, but it definitely deserves to be up there. And so now we only have two songs left. When I Think About the Future and Hear My Hopes. Or just Hope, there's no S. When I think about the future and Hear My Hope, I think these are kind of back to back for me. And I think they're kind of in the lower middle portion. I think I like When I Think About the Future a little more. My issue with that song was it was very referential. There was a lot of like previous songs being used again and again in terms of both from this season and I think even beforehand. There were songs being used in terms of reprises and references throughout this one, and a lot of like motifs as well. And it's just it almost felt like it was a great prelude to War song that was setting up the end of episode 7 going into episode 8. But at the same time, it's like it didn't feel like as much its own song. Hear My Hope did, but I think I like Hear My Hope a little less because it's very cheesy. And cheesy can be good, but I think it's like just kind of meh in this regard. So I think When I Think About the Future for me will be at the top of C tier. And Hear My Hope, I think I'm actually going to put just under Brighter. So not quite back to back, but very close. I think that's where I have all the songs for season 2 right now. Obviously this changes like periodically. Like as I listen to the songs more and more, I'll also have like a few differences. This is where I'm at currently, as of how many times I've listened to the songs and what I think about them. Easy is easily my favorite. It's like that one I don't think is ever going to change. In fact, I think the S tier, outside of maybe some of the bottom ones, kind of maybe switching places a little bit, the top 2 are locked in. Those are staying the top 2. I don't think that's ever going to change. And in the same regard, I think the bottom 2 are also kind of locked in. I don't think those will ever change either. Because again, there's a notable reason why they're my bottom 2. But yeah, I think I'm pretty good with this list. I think I'm pretty on point with what I think of all of these songs. And by the way, if you want to make your own lists, I will link to each of these lists down in the comments below. And so if you want to share your own lists on the Discord server, which is also linked in the description, you can do that there. We have a channel dedicated to the Helliverse itself, so you can share those there. But yeah, I think that this is my just go-to list for the songs. I think I'm very confident in this. I really think I am. So tell me down below what you thought of all of these, what you thought of like the episodes, what would your rankings be for that? Tell me what you thought of the characters and the songs for Hazbin Hotel Season 2. Like I said, I will be doing a entirely separate video. Or, no, that's what I was talking about with this. Sorry. Season 3 will be coming like in the distant future, not until 2027, unfortunately. So hopefully we'll get more Hell of a Boss stuff next year in 2026, and I can rank stuff regarding that then. But for now, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts down below, and hope you've enjoyed my Hazbin Hotel Season 2 reactions and this list as well. In the meantime, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.